At some point in your life, you stopped explaining yourself. And it wasn't because you had nothing more to say, but because you realized that the explanations never really changed anything. And what really bothered you the most about this wasn't that people misunderstood you. No, it was because some of them understood you perfectly and still chose to act the same. Hi, I'm Marsha, and if this is already starting to feel familiar, you didn't just find you didn't just find this video by accident. This video was meant for you. Now there's a moment most people don't notice when it happens because, well, it's not dramatic, it's not a big argument, and it's not even a betrayal that you can point out. No, it's quieter than that, which is why we rarely notice it happen. It's just like one day you notice that you just started watching more rather than talking. And in those moments where you are silent, you notice how certain people respond when something goes right for you. And not what, like, not what they say, that part is easy. No, it's the timing of it, okay? It's the pauses and the way the energy shifts around the person and around the room, around you guys. And for most of the time, you tell yourself, oh, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe I'm pointing things out that are not even there. But the truth is, you weren't overthinking, okay? You were simply just saying something that you didn't have a language for yet. And usually, without language, awareness starts to feel like paranoia or delusion. So, let me say this properly. Awareness always feels uncomfortable before it feels clear. And before I continue with this video, let me just say that I am sick right now, so forgive how my voice sounds like right now. So, my nose is running, I have a fever, and stuff like that, yeah. My dad used to say something that didn't really make sense to me when I was younger. And he said to me, watch what changes when you stop needing approval. At that time, I thought he meant to be confident, okay? Chest out, chin up, motivational, poster image, confidence, and, just tough it out. But the older I got, I realized that that's not what he meant. What he meant in the moment was when you stop asking for permission to become who you are becoming, because that is when the room changes, okay? Let me quote Marcus Aurelius. The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or think or do. Not because you are better than anyone, no, it's simply because you finally see how much of their behavior has really nothing to do with you. Now, there's a verse in the Bible that says, a man's enemies will be the members of his own household. And this is not some curse or plague or whatever. This is simply an observation, okay? And observations or facts, those kind of things, they do not care about our feelings. Mhm. Mm, as I was saying, it's an observation, and observation, facts, and data, those things don't really care about how you feel. It's it is what it is, okay? That's the honest truth. And the part that no one really likes to admit is that yes, not everyone around you wants you to fail, but not anyone can tolerate watching you change. And those are two very different things, okay? And if you found this video, if you are here right now, then you have some level of awareness and you have felt this feeling and this shift before. So here's where we get a little bit more uncomfortable. And this is usually where like people check out. Some of the tension that you felt around you, around the people that you've surrounded yourself with, wasn't because they were bad people, they were negative people, they're not good people. No. This was because your situation. Oh, I don't you hate it when you feel like a sneeze is about to come out and then it doesn't come out? God. As I was saying, the shift isn't because the shift isn't because okay. Okay, listen. Human relationships are basically built on an unspoken agreement, okay? Like who needs who leads the pack, who's the followers, who stays small so that everyone else feels stable, that sort of thing, okay? So when you break the agreement, when you disrupt the environment, it triggers a reaction. And most of the time, it's a negative reaction. Okay? And, this creates friction and confusion. And these confusions in others often show up as subtle distancing, passive concern, or like advices that you never asked for, or support that feels conditional. Now, Carl Jung said, people will do anything, okay, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. And sometimes that anything is trying to keep you where you were. And you don't want to admit this part, but some people prefer you when you're easier to predict, okay? And I'm pretty sure when you realize this, you felt a little heavier. And honestly, I'm telling you, that's good because it's good to have a level of caution, even, amongst people you're close with. Because this weight that you feel is clarity settling within you. Now, here's a quiet truth that most people never say out loud. The moment that you start seeing patterns, you also start losing your tolerance for pretending that you don't see it. Okay? And that is why this phase feels lonely sometimes, okay? It's not because you become a better person or whatever, no. It's also not because you're a bitter person, no. But simply because you cannot unsee what you have already noticed. It feels painful. Um it pricks at your conscience every time you deny it and pretend like you don't see it. So right now we are not talking about what to do yet. with this level of awareness yet. That'll be in another video, maybe later in the future. But for now, for this video, I just want you to notice, okay? This to give you like some clarity and confirmation or recognition or whatever, that you're normal, okay? Like, you didn't wake up one day and then just suddenly decided to become distant for no particular reason. No. You became aware, and distance was the side effect. So, if this video showed up in your life, um, if this showed up somewhere in your life, you don't really have to say it or explain it in the comments. I just want you to simply just say you noticed it, okay? Just say noticed, or I noticed, or something I have seen. And if you are still here watching this video, thank you. You already know that this wasn't the beginning, okay? And as always, do whatever you want with this video. And I'm gonna try and sneeze this off because I really want to sneeze. So, I'm sorry. I'll leave captions so that it will be easier to understand me over the slurs. But yeah, I'm like currently sick, so best wishes to me that I get better.